Hey guys, so I am seeing a lot of vlogs lately about finding your style. And as someone who likes to change things up a lot, I thought it might be fun to talk about personal style, personal art style, and how important it is for me to always be changing things up as I continue to learn. Okay guys, so in my experience, there are like three topics that just come up pretty much everywhere in artist conversations, and those are knowing when you're good enough, how to handle burnout, and finding your personal artistic style. And I think all of these kind of come from a place of just general uncertainty. Being an artist, professional or not, it's pretty ambiguous, and because it's ambiguous, it ends up just forces us to really figure out what that means for us, figure out our own journey, figure out our own definition of artist, and also figure out what we're willing to do to earn that title. I think I have a pretty good handle on it for myself. What I want to do pretty much revolves around continuous learning. And for me, I want to be the kind of artist that just always evolves, which means on occasion that I will probably experience some shifts in what is considered my style, but I'm good with that. And I'll tell you why. But first, let me explain to you a little bit about the painting session that you're about to see. Okay, so we are back in my oil painting sketchbook where we've been doing something pretty different for me, at least for lately. If you caught the last few vlogs, then you know that rather than doing the direct painting that I've done for like the past few years, I'm starting to explore an indirect method. And so what does that mean? Well, whether I was working in acrylics or watercolors or oils or whatever in the past, I would start with a sketch, but essentially I was always working a painting in like one sitting. And so, I mean, you could consider it loosely alla prima or direct painting. But it was definitely a process that I had adhered to for a really long time. And recently I've just been taking the opportunity to do some study in a more indirect method that I've absolutely loved. And so what that involves is a really simple process that is 3 steps. And it starts with a pretty detailed colored pencil drawing. And I use that to work out the composition and the structure. And then the second step is an acrylic underpainting that I do to work out more of the color and the lighting. And final phase is the oil painting. And in that phase, I'm mainly doing like modeling and texture. I might do some small changes to color, but really that is like the final phase. All of that is mostly taken care of so that the modeling and the texture is really all I have to worry about. And so, does this process take longer than what I'm used to doing? Probably a little bit. Surprisingly, not by that much. And to be honest, the benefits really definitely outweigh any time increase. I mean, so just by taking a break in between the steps of the work and allowing my brain to really just focus on one aspect of painting at a time, I can already feel the weight of creating a painting just lifting off of my shoulders. And I think that I'm seeing a sensitivity for me that was always it was always a struggle to achieve. And I'm seeing it now. And I'm not saying that my work prior to this was bad or that this work is better, but it's different and it feels different. And that kind of leads me back to the original topic. If I've changed my process and the resulting images look different, does that mean that I'm changing my style? So first of all, let me just assure you that even if this does mean that my style is changing, I am totally okay with that. But to be honest, I do understand the concerns that some artists have. So I hear people saying things like, what if my followers are no longer happy if I change my style? They're not getting what they came for. Or what if my my customers who are buying my art, are no longer getting what they came for? I totally get that. Like, I 100% get that fear. But as an artist, and not a business person, first of all, here's how I look at it. If you decided to go to art school one day, and that first day you walked in the door, you made a painting or a sculpture or whatever your art happens to be, and then you set that aside and you took all of the training that the school provided to you, and on your last day, you created another painting or sculpture or, again, whatever your art happens to be, and you put those two things side by side. And when you looked at those, you saw them and you said, there is no difference. Those are equal. There's been, in other words, no evolution in style or technical ability or anything in those two pieces. They differ in no way. You might be upset. I know I would be extremely upset. I'd be wondering, what the heck did I pay for? And what have I been doing for the past few months or years or whatever, however long that program was? If I saw no evolution in style or skill, I would be really upset. And that's the way I look at it now. And I'm going to look at it that way forever. I always want to be able to look back at my work and be able to appreciate where I've come from and where I was. I'm not saying that I want my artwork to always be better. But I need to be able to see some progression for the work that I'm putting in. So I want to look back and appreciate it, but at the same time, I want to be able to pick out clear areas of progress that I can also appreciate. So the fear, I think, is interesting. So let me switch from my artist hat to my business hat. The fear of being inconsistent or changing your style is an interesting one, because I do hear people saying, people are following me for a specific thing, or they're buying my artwork, or they're, patronizing me for some reason for this specific thing that I'm providing to them. And sure, that could be true. But if it's possible for an artist to get stagnant and bored with the work that they're creating, it's also possible for an audience to feel that way too. And they might come to you for a specific thing, but hopefully you've curated an audience that will actually stick with you through your evolution and wants to see that evolution and wants to feel that change. And it might not feel like a change to them. It might feel like a change to you, but it might feel like a consistent evolution to them. And so it's an opportunity to think about consistency in a different way. It's not just consistency of putting out the same thing over and over, but it's maybe consistency of showing up and providing your audience, whoever they are, with things that they can continue to appreciate and see that growth along with you. Okay, so in order to make all of these changes, to see the clear progression of our work and to have this evolution feel like something that we've done purposefully and, with a lot of thought, it's kind of important that we have a clear picture in our minds about the things that we want to evolve. So, like, how do we want this evolution to take place? Like, when you're in school, I think that's easy because the curriculum just tells you what those things are that you're going to be learning and doing and changing. And once you're on your own, it kind of becomes a little bit more challenging to pinpoint either the things that you want to work on or the things that you need to work on, and even just the order to work on them. Like, how do you approach these things? And so for me, I think it's important for me to have like an end goal in mind. Like I want to be able to picture in my mind the type of work that I would be doing or be able to be doing once this kind of area of focus, this area of study is completed, or at least what I think it would look like, whether or not that ends up being the case after some amount of study. So having a tangible goal in mind gives me something to strive for. It gives me something to work towards. And it could be anything. Like, it could be, in the past, it's been things like just filling a sketchbook with block-ins. Pretty simple. Like, at the end, I just have a sketchbook full of block-ins, and I can flip back through that and really look at and appreciate sort of, how far I've come in my compositional design and my understanding of light, and understand where I need to go from there. It could be something like designing a coloring book page. Did that a few months ago, and that was definitely a learning opportunity, and lots of learning went into that, like digital illustration classes and lettering techniques and different compositional theories and things like that went into that study. And then now my current goal is a really interesting one, and it's why I've been studying so much in my oil painting sketchbook, and that is to create what I've been calling, and I think I made this up, but what I've been calling a contemporary Victorian style painting, and I want to do that by the end of the year. And so this is a very specific goal, but I think the more specific for me, the better. It helps me really have a clear idea of the skills and potentially the classes, the books, the online research, all of the things that I could possibly do to help me understand where my gaps are, what I need to accomplish in order to make this goal a reality. And yeah, this new way of painting for me is one of the most critical skills that I need to develop, or that I want to develop, in order to hit this goal. And I I couldn't be happier. I absolutely am having the time of my life with it. And I think not only is it going to help me hit this goal, but I do think that this is a way of working that's just going to change my practice altogether. Like it's that impactful for me, guys. All right, so if you've made it this far, you are a champ. I apologize if this was a long and rambly one, but I just needed to get this all off my chest. And I also want to apologize after the fact for the scratchy voice that I've had through this whole thing. Can you believe that I actually think I'm catching another cold? Like, this has been the worst year for me. I've just been getting sick left and right. But anyway, I really do hope this was helpful for you. Of course, I want to remind everybody that I am really only speaking for myself, and these are just my opinions, my experiences. But I wanted to put them out there because I feel like they're a little bit different maybe than what I've been seeing and hearing online. And yeah, maybe this, you can add this experience to all the other experiences that you've been hearing about and just, make the best for yourself. So yes, if this was helpful for you, please let me know. If you have any questions about my process, feel free to leave those in the comments too. That's really all I have for now. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more. And yeah, I will see you soon.